Welcome back. Today, as I record this, it's my birthday. It'll be a few days past that by the time you see this on YouTube, but I'm turning 52 years old. And that's one of the reasons that I got back into chess, because it's well known that various cognitive functions begin to decline once you reach a certain age, especially in men, at least in my experience. And I don't know if it's been scientifically verified or anything like that, but I have the impression that working through chess problems, trying to solve puzzles, calculating my way through a game, it certainly shouldn't hurt my mental faculties any. But anyway, it also reminds me that this channel's been up for almost 3 years, and a few of you have been here most of that time. I really appreciate it. Today I'm going to try to solve some puzzles over on chess.com. In my last video, we confirmed that I've reached my highest ever puzzle rating on chess.com. This is the 4th time that I've tried this rating climb in puzzles, and all the others petered out, either in the mid to high 2200s or just after crossing 2300. And this time I've crossed 2300 and got, the highest score I've ever gotten, so I'm going to keep going as far as I can. If you're new to my channel, I'm not a titled player or chess coach. I'm just a random person in my 50s trying to get better at chess. Let's go. Yeah, 2326 is my highest puzzle rating of all time. What can I do here? They have attacked my knight. Do I have any checks? I mean, I do have a check with this queen, but I think they would take it, and then my knight would still be in trouble. What else? Do I have any captures? Other than that pawn, no, I don't have any captures. In a game, I would move this knight, but I don't know where. I might put it right in there because that attacks their queen. I don't know where their queen would go. It might move over, it might come up, and then probably my knight would be in danger and I'd have to move it again. Okay, well, this is definitely, at least it feels like it's a high-rated puzzle. But I think the higher rated these puzzles get, the more I should look at my checklist and remind myself to stick to it. In my previous puzzle runs or, rating climbs, I often forgot to check my checklist, and I think in the first puzzle run, I didn't even have a checklist. But just to be clear, all my checks are that one. That's my only check. Okay. And my only captures besides that pawn or this knight, but I don't think that's good because I can't immediately attack the queen again. Wait. Oh, for a second I thought I had a check over here, but I would need one more file to get on that diagonal. And it only goes over here to the A file. Okay, so that's not a check either. Also, I don't know how that would help anything. Can I threaten anything? I can castle, but that doesn't threaten anything, and that's almost never the solution to a puzzle. Very recently, I did have a puzzle where castling queenside was the answer because it checked them when I did that, and then I was able to win a piece with my king, I think, because there was something over here. So my rook ended up here checking them, and then my king was able to get that piece, I think. Anyway, I don't know what to do in this puzzle. I think, like I said, in a game, I would be highly tempted to just put the knight on e6, but I don't know what they would do. I don't know which of these squares they would choose for their queen, and then I don't know what I would do after that. If they went over to the D file, of course, I could take their knight and be guarding my knight. But what if they just came up here? I paused the video for a while, and I've been looking at this. I began to wonder if there was some sort of queen sacrifice, because very often a puzzle starts with a queen sacrifice, but I can't find any benefit from, going here. They just get my queen, and then my knight is still in danger. I would have to move it back. Going up here, I don't think does anything. I don't know which pawn they would take with, but let's say they took with that one. I've lost a queen, and my knight is still in danger and would have to move back. If I take the knight, I assume they take back, and then my knight is still in danger, and I would have to move it back, I guess. Or castle or something, I don't know. And so I've gone back to this, which is the only threat that I see that threatens anything. And like I said, that's probably what I would have played in a game. I think I said that right at the beginning. But number one, I don't know which one of these squares the queen would move to. I think I said if it went to the C file, then I would take their knight for free. Okay, what if they just came up one? But I don't know what it is, so I'm going to play that move because it's the first thing that I saw, and I haven't found anything better than that. So we'll find out, what I should have played here on the analysis board. Okay, that was right. And it went up one. Okay. Well, that's what I said I would do in a game, but I don't think that's right for some reason. In a game against many of the opponents that I play, it would probably be good. It's usually not good to sacrifice a piece that's way out here versus, one that hasn't moved yet. But in this case, like I said, they wouldn't have to move their king. They could take with the rook, and they would still be able to castle over to the queen side. So I'm not even taking away their right to castle. Okay, so should I threaten their queen again? I can't do the cool c7 knight fork because their queen is guarding that square. But maybe now there's a queen sacrifice. What if I take this knight? That's crazy, right? What if I take their knight now and they hit that and then I get the c7 fork? Oh my. Well, I would get the fork, right? And get their queen for nothing plus a knight. No, not for nothing. They're going to get my queen. I'll be down 6 points of material. But then when I take here, and that's check. I've gone up another point of material, so they're only up 5. When they get out of check, the queen is free up here, and I would be up 4 points of material? Maybe that's it. It was. And I take it. Oh my. Okay, so I put together just a few scattered ideas, and it took me way too long, so I'm going to quit talking and go on to the next one. But yeah, I definitely didn't see the end of that when I started, which is what you're supposed to do. Next. Oh no. I am playing with the black pieces, and they are getting this pawn close to promotion. Okay, can I check them? I can check them. I think that's my only check. They would just take my rook. And the only capture I have right now is this pawn. And I'm pretty sure if I took that, they would take my rook. And then I would not have a fork because their king is not in the right position. If I checked here and they took, I would have a follow-up check, but it's not a fork or anything. And then when they moved out of check, I could go for the rook, but it would just move, probably all the way over there, and then they would be able to advance the pawn. I could go here now, threatening the pawn immediately. What does the opponent play if I put my knight on e5? Because then I have both my pieces pointed at that pawn. And I think if they just played h3 or something, I would take the pawn with my rook. Because if I took with the knight, then the knight would be pinned to my rook. But yeah, what do they play if I play this? They drop back because they can't advance the pawn again, and I would still take the pawn. It can't be that simple, right? At 23-31? That's not simple. I would still have a struggle here with all of this. And if they took my rook and I took their rook, I would have a knight left to go after those last 3 pawns and protect my own. That doesn't feel incredibly winning. Okay, what else can I do? I can put the knight here now because I talked about putting it there after they took my rook. But what if I put the knight there now? They're not going to queen in the next 2 turns because it takes 2 turns to get this pawn forward, and they're going to have to move the rook at some point. So if I put this knight here now, I'm threatening checkmate. What do they play? They check me, and then I just take it, and then they push the pawn, and then that's checkmate, because that's checkmate, right? The pawn is guarding those 2 squares. Their own pawns are in the way, and the knight would be guarding that square and that square where the rook is going. Maybe that's it. Well, again, I don't see anything else other than this harebrained idea to win that pawn. But like I said, at the end of that, I still just have this knight left way over here that's got to hop back over here and try to stop some of those pawns. So I'm going to try the threat of checkmate and see what they play. Wait, is it unstoppable mate? And that's why, theme is mate in 3 plus. 3 plus. Do they have a way to get out of it? They move this pawn, that's still mate, right? I guess they could check me, but again, I just take it if they... I think it's made in 2, but I'm going to check the analysis board. Kind of surprised I got that. Okay, we were even until they pushed that pawn. What they needed to do was check me first, but they pushed the pawn. It gives me mate in 3. Okay, so 1, yeah, they have to check me. So they check me, I take it, and now no matter what they do, rook to g2 is mate. Okay, so before I made the knight move, it's mate in 3. But once I make the knight move, it's mate in 2. I did understand. Wow, good for me. Oh, I don't know how much higher I can get, but I am kind of on a roll. Next. All right, let's look for checks first. I have a check with this rook. I have a check with this rook. I have 2 checks with that rook. I think those are my only 3 checks. Let's evaluate all of them, starting with rook to e5. And I like that one better because, the other rook is cutting off this entire g file, keeping the king trapped over there. Okay, so I check rook to e5. The king only has 2 choices. But whichever one it chooses, no, if it came down here to h6, then I would have this follow-up check, which is mate, because the pawn's protecting that. Okay, so it would probably go to h4, and then I couldn't check again with this rook safely, or the knight. The knight is too far away, but I could check on h2, but then the king gets too close, and it wouldn't matter if I could check here because they could take my rook. Okay. So maybe it's that one first. Maybe it's rook to h2 first. But that gives the king 2 choices. Can't come here because of my pawn. So if it chose g5, then again I could check here, but again it can come toward my rook, which is not defended because the knight's in the wrong spot. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, don't you hate it when you have a thought, but before you get a chance to actually say it, it just kind of flitters away? That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my age. It happens. It seems like it's always happened, but it happens a little bit more now. But what was I thinking? I was thinking about the previous puzzle where instead of moving the rook to check, losing the rook, and then checking with the knight, I put the knight there first so that rook check would be protected. And so I started looking for, is there something like that here? But then again, the knight's too far away and it doesn't have any safe squares to move to. Actually, over there, it would be safe on a5. But other than that, it doesn't have any safe squares to move to, and that doesn't help anything. But I can move this king. What if I put the king on g7, preparing this mate? What do they play? They could check me, but I would just take it with the rook, I think. Not the king, because I want the rook to stay here. I don't want the king to block the rook again. They can't check me here because my knight's in the way. They can't check me here because my rook's in the way. And it wouldn't matter if they took this. I think that's it. I'm going to play king to g7, preparing for rook to h8 mate. And again, if it's wrong, we'll find out why. And if it's right, we know why. Oh, okay, that's what they're going to play. I didn't even think of that. To block the check with a... Wait, that doesn't help. Because if they go there, I'm just going to take it. So it's got to be rook to h8, right? There's nothing else. Oh, I hope that's right. Here we go. Oh, they did block. Well, I'm going to take it. Okay. Good. So both of those had a similar thing. They both said mate n3+, but in my mind, the way that I'm organizing what the puzzle's trying to teach me, both of those were teaching me that you have a mate, but you have to do something that's not check first. In this case, it was getting my king out of the way, and in the previous one, it was getting the knight into the proper position to guard the rook. Has it really been 19 minutes already? Oh my goodness. Next. Okay, I'm playing with the white pieces. I do not have, well, I do have a check. Okay. I have 2 checks. Okay. I was about to say I don't have a check, but I have 2 checks. I think that's it, because you can't check with the king. That would be weird. Okay, I don't think it's the knight check. Even though my king's cutting off all of this, and my pawn's cutting off those 2, and my knight would be hitting there, and this other pawn's guarding this, they can still get out. And then I could check them over here, but they could just block that with the rook. Or get out again. Wait, what was the problem with the knight check? King's guarding this, my pawn's guarding these, the knight hits that, my other pawn is guarding over here. The problem with that is that they can get away. Wait, is this the same theme as those other puzzles? Do I have to? Okay, maybe it is. There's definitely a theme here. What if I make a preparatory move which keeps the king from getting out, and then this is mate? Rook to d7. I'm not trying to come in here because that's bad, but I'm just keeping their king from going over there. Obviously, my pawns guard 2 of those squares, but my rook needs to guard this square, the d5 square that their king could have escaped to. The d5 square is the problem with both of these. So if I cut off the d5 square from their king, and then check over here, that's mate. What do they play if I put this rook here? Do they have a move? And push a pawn, but then that's mate. And block with the rook, but I'll just take it. Okay, I think it's a preparatory move. That's what many of these puzzles have been trying to teach me. Do something first, and then the thing you want to do. Maybe, if that's right. If it's not right, then I missed it entirely. Let's try rook to d7. Oh, and again it stopped. What? Mating net. Is it not a mate in 3 then? Black had a very slight advantage, but then they played this. Wait, how did that make the difference? Oh, because they should have just defended the d-file. But they played that, which didn't defend the d-file. Okay, it is mate in 3. So why were the other ones called mate in 3+, but this one's called mating net? What's the difference? I play this. The move that delays mate the longest is blocking with the rook, and I just take it. And then it doesn't matter what they do. They can take this pawn, they can move this pawn. Oh, they don't have a lot of legal moves. All their other legal moves would just be moving this rook someplace. And then this is going to be mate. Nice. And I think I have time for one more if it's not as long as the first one that I did here. That puzzle has a pretty high pass rate of 68%. I almost missed it. Next. Okay, let's look at the checks. I'm pretty sure only have 1 check here. I think the king would take probably, but then what? Then I could come check up here and then the king just goes back. But yes, that looks like my only check. Can I threaten their queen somehow? I could do that, but they would just take it. Okay, while we're on the theme of preparatory moves, what if I put the queen here first, which is threatening checkmate? They would just move that pawn, wouldn't they? Wait, this bishop's hanging. Is that what it is? If so, I'm surprised I got it in just, a minute and a half here, or however long I've been on this puzzle. But if I put the queen on h5, it's threatening checkmate, so they need to stop that. They can do it by either blocking the bishop's path down there, which would mean playing this g pawn, or they could play the h pawn, which blocks the queen's path down there, but then I get their bishop. Let's look at the material. We both have 2 rooks, we both have a queen, we both have 2 bishops, and we both have 6 pawns. So we're exactly equal on material. I'm going to want a castle before long because of where their queen is and where their bishop is. But what if I get rid of that bishop? Does that work? Oh wow, this is going to be the last puzzle in this video. I hope I don't get it wrong because that would be embarrassing, but it happens sometimes. Oh, that seems like a huge risk. I should look around. Is there anything else? Okay, so it's probably queen to h5. Oh my, it's either that or the bishop sacrifice. What do they call that? The Greek gift or something, but I'm going to play queen to h5. Oh, they went over here to save the bishop. I should just take it, right? It's free. Or should I take it with I should not take it with the bishop because then they can check. And then my bishop's pinned. Oh, I think. And then obviously if they take me, I would take back and I would just be up a bishop. I didn't foresee them saving the bishop, but it was still right. That's pretty cool that sometimes you can get the right move without knowing exactly, what to expect. Like that was not something I expected at all. Oh, I hope that's right. Okay, well then it's taking the queen. That last move was really obvious, so I'm not sure why the puzzle kept going. Oh my. I broke 2350 for the first time ever. I don't know how much higher I can get, but I felt pretty good about this. Especially once I figured out the themes that we were looking at preparatory moves. I think almost every puzzle in this session was looking at moves that set up what you want to do next. And that's something that I'm pretty bad about. I've gotten better at seeing tactics. Like, oh, if I get this rook out of the way of my bishop or something, then I have something. But this was putting a piece in a place where it doesn't do anything right now, but it can do something on the next turn. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Once again, it is my birthday. I'm going to go celebrate. And by celebrate, I mean I'm going to eat one small piece of cake and listen to my kids and wife sing happy birthday. I'm not doing anything big, because why would you do that at 52? Maybe if I ever turn like 18 or 21 again, I'll do that differently than I did last time, but probably I won't. So not really expecting that. Anyway, I'll see you next time.